You're listening to Talk 49 World, and now some pocket thinking on planning the future. I'm Nigel A. James. Planning the future has become a very actual thing, especially considering the climate change. Planning the future, it is maintained, is as easy as agreeing on long-term schedules and promises. All very simple, we think. But in reality, planning the future is an impossible task. Why is this so? The reason we can't plan the future is because the future just doesn't exist. The future will never ever come. There is no such thing as the future. And we can't plan for something that is nothing more than an abstract belief. We think we can. Common thinking tells us that the future is simply an extension of now. This is, of course, far from the truth. Times to come will be completely different from now. New thinking, new dynamics, new attitudes, new science, new inventions, and so on and so on. And we can learn from the past. This has all happened before. And the best example of all is London. At one point in London's history, it was seriously considered clearing the city. The pollution in London was so bad that decent living had become almost impossible. Pollution caused by the many horses, the raw sewage, and much more as well. London was bad. And all the city planners of London tried to work on the circumstances and conditions existing at the time. They knew no better. The Londoners could only see things continuing as they were. Change was not even considered. But things did change. Electricity, petrol engines, sewage treatment, and so on. And when the horses disappeared, so did the problem. The times to come took care of themselves. London was saved. And the same as what happened in London is still happening now. We are planning for a so-called future as if things are going to stay as they are. So, what is to be done? The first thing we must do is ban the word future. Instead, we must use the word now. We must start planning for now. We have more than enough to work with. Then we must act, put our plans into action. Things might be hard, but nothing's impossible. We must reduce the traffic on our roads. We must encourage public transport. We have to promote solar energy panels, and we have to stop overheating our homes and our offices. Of course, much is already being done on a voluntary basis, but maybe legislation will be needed. There is, after all, a difference between rights and obligations. However, we can only do what we can do, and we can do a lot. But we shouldn't hang on to our stubborn beliefs that it's we who know best. Our children and grandchildren are already here, and their ideas will be better and totally different from ours. And so to conclude, the future just doesn't exist. The future will never ever come, and we should never forget that the now we have now was once the future of then. Planning the future, forget it. Just start thinking of now. Thank you very much. Pocket Thinking on Planning the Future. Written and read by Nigel A. James.